Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for another update on the Bloodsword computer game. This time featuring the Warrior class. Oh yes, that's right. And here we can see some of the beautiful warrior artwork. Now, a couple of things. First off, we got a boy and a girl. Just like when we had the Enchanter class spotlight, there was a boy and a girl. That pattern's going to continue for pretty much all of the hero class spotlights, you know. You make a character, it's your character. They can be a boy or a girl, or a man or a woman. It's fine, right? Here, a couple of things that stand out. First off, yes, the male warrior artwork has a Templar Crusader cross on his surcoat. Why is this? Well, actually, there is a reason for it. In the original series, the warrior hero is on good terms with the Knights Capella, having possibly even done service or aided them in the past, and has arranged for a letter of introduction when visiting the region that they operate in. And the Knights Capella, which are essentially the Bloodswords version of the Crusaders, can do a few favours for the warrior and help the heroes out if that's the direction the party chooses to go. Which, in a way, helps with his aged, sort of stony face. The feeling like this is the old school style warrior coming in, this is the newer one. And one thing that stands out here, for some reason she looks kind of Dutch to me, not quite sure why, is this rather narrow-waisted armour, which actually goes perfectly with this pauldron, because in the late medieval period, leading up towards the Renaissance, the very late medieval period, there were some suits of armour with particularly waspish waists, although I don't think that was a very common trend. If it was, it started to, it was as armor was almost going out of fashion. So yeah, interesting. They're more, from the knees down, they're more similar. But yeah, I like it. Let's go have a look, see what the developer has to say. I should also point out that the game recently featured in the turn-based Thursday Fest, which lasted from one Thursday to the next, so an 8-day sort of festival showing off many different magnificent turn-based games. Obviously, this one's still in development, but it should be pretty good. The original books were written back in the 1980s, so actually a lot of the development work's already done, right? This is just like with the Fabled Lands series from the same developer. The books were already written, so it was more a matter of adjusting material and, updating and altering where needed, rather than having to create something completely from scratch. Now, of course, the disadvantage is that a load of the work's already done. The advantage also is that a load of the work is already done. So, what do we got here? There are two kinds of warriors in craft. Those who die with honour, and those who live to fight again. In the world of legend, warriors walk many paths. Some are knights, heirs to a shattered code of chivalry, trained in the civilized realms of Albion, showbread over war-torn reaches of Curland. Clad in chain and bound by oaths or merely the memory of them, they stride into battle like avatars of the old world. There's not a lot of plate in the world of legend, because it's more sort of 11th century than 13th to 16th. Others are barbarians, sons and daughters of the eastern steppes, the icy coasts of Fuland, or the burning sands of distant deserts. They owe fealty to no liege, but fight with the raw ferocity of a storm made flesh, and yet others wear no banner at all, only blood and dust. Veterans of mercenary campaigns, tavern brawls, and a dozen wars no bard ever sang of. In Bloodsword, you can be any of them. You begin not with spells, but with steel. No illusions, no tricks, only muscle, training, and the refusal to fail. And here... Can we get this open a decent size? No, it's about the same size, really. Okay. We got the warrior skill tree, and remember, if I just pop this open, that every hero will have access to other classes' skill trees as well. So when we come to the Enchanter skill tree, for example, the warrior will be able to dip into a few of these skills. A little bit, but not very many, because the skills will have requirements, many of which the warrior will just not be able to meet. You wear chainmail at the start with an armor rating of 3, giving you unmatched durability. This is true. The other heroes have a lower armor rating initially. Your fighting prowess surpasses that of any class. You hit more often and harder. Your military training unlocks a brutal arsenal. Weapon proficiency sharpens every strike. Vigor and Fortify turn you into an immovable object. Battle Cry rattles the enemy line. Whirlwind carves through it. Battering Ram breaks formations. Precision Stance sacrifices defense for raw killing power. And when things get desperate, even bare hands become weapons with unarmed combat mastery. Let's not forget ambidexterity or the legendary merciless strike at higher ranks. Some warriors fight for gold. Others for vengeance, for glory, for the gods. You? You fight because it's all you've ever known. Barbarian or knight, mercenary or exile, the warrior survives where others fall. Now let's have a look at this. So, this is a really strange icon to use for the warrior, the bow and arrow. This looks more like a trickster or sage skill. In the original books, the warrior couldn't even use ranged weapons, except for a magical throwing axe, the Axe of Heraklos, which could be hurled and would return to the hand, rather like Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. Fortify and Vigor. I presume Fortify the shield, Vigor the stone body here. That would be our unarmed combat. And Battle Cry. So if this is weapon proficiency of the axe, then this the ambidexterity. So what have we left? Because there's 11 icons here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 named skills. Okay. Weapon proficiency might just be a fighting prowess boost, right? Obviously that's for battering ram. Whirlwind. That could be whirlwind, right? As we appear to be striking past the enemy shield. Or this could be a defensive thing, and this could be... Hang on, but this leads to unarmed combat. Huh. Precision stance. I'd like to... Hang on. I'd like to imagine it's this. But this could also be the merciless strikes. In which case, is that... No, I don't think that's precision stance. Can be taken up to 3 times. I don't imagine the stance can be taken 3 times. So that could be the whirlwind. So this could be our mystery skill in that case. I'm intrigued to see what can be done to the warrior, because in the original series the warrior was very sort of I hit it with my sword, It was the simple option for someone who didn't want to have to think too much, still wanted to be part of the adventure. But also, the warrior did have some nice role-playing opportunities. Calling out cowards, intimidating all manner of knaves, but also honourable, answering challenges to single combat. And there was at least one or two opportunities where the warrior would literally refuse certain options and force the party to avoid certain paths. Anything extremely dishonourable, the warrior would just refuse and say, no, we're not doing this. I think it only happened a couple of times in the original adventure quintet. 2 or 3 times where the warrior would say, no, look, we can't do this. Sorry, I'll, make an executive decision here. Boomf, It's interesting that the male and female warrior are depicted here with two-handed swords, because I don't recall a single shield in the original adventure series that the heroes could obtain and equip. I recall a single shield that a non-player character had at one point, and that's about it. Are we going to be steering heavily away from shield use? I mean, the enchanters aren't likely to use many shields, and we have shields here in a couple of the skill icons on the skill tree. It will be interesting to see, because I imagine, as with Fabled Lands, there will be some alterations made, and maybe we'll get to use a few more pieces of equipment. It's also interesting to remember that at certain points in some of the books, the party has to carry so many items that you practically need a full party to carry everything, because originally each character was only allowed, was it 8 items or 10 items to carry? And there were a few times where a party had to carry, that includes their equipment, by the way, weapons, armour, bows, arrows, money, things like that, right? So for many of the heroes, they don't get to assign all 8 early on. Nice to see the scar there running over the eye. Hasn't quite blinded her. Bit of battle damage. There's another scar here. These are warriors who've seen some action. I like it. Obviously, I'll do another update next time we get information about the game. I hope you're all excited about this one, or at least interested, and if so, hey, comment section's down below, feel free to use it. I hope you've all enjoyed this video, and see you all next time, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye for now.